Hardpoint. Success guarantees continued access to premium benefits. Hardpoint locked down. We've claimed the lead. Widen the gap. Hostile personnel have captured the hardpoint. Black Ops took the lead. Now let them keep it. Hardpoint contested. We control the hardpoint. We have the lead. Maintain current posture. Contesting hardpoint. Hostiles have the hardpoint. We are falling behind. Hostile UAV established above. Hardpoint locked down. Hostile personnel have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint located. Lead is ours. Do not let up.
Grim approving skewer target.
Hardpoint active. Hostiles have the hardpoint. They have the lead. Take it back. Contesting hardpoint. Enemy UAV detected. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint identified. Hostile UAV established above. Hardpoint is active. Contesting hardpoint. Be aware, enemy watchdog helo incoming. Control the hardpoint. Enemy UAV detected. Hostile dog active. Hostile personnel have captured the hardpoint. Hostile UAV established above. deathmatch. Eliminate all unauthorized personnel. The advantage is ours. Hold it.
Smoke out. Semtex out.
Establish UAV
Enemy
above.
control. Tally.
Taking the shot.
Threat null. Establishing smoke screen.
Skewer release detected. Incoming napalm strike detected in your AO.
I need eyes overhead.
Enemy UAV detected.
frigates deployed.
Hostile UAV established above. Enemy care package detected overhead.
Drop skewer on my mark.
Enemy Rhino is on the field. Hostile care package above.
Down one.
We've claimed the lead. Widen the gap. Black Ops took the lead. Do not let them keep it. Enemy dog established on your grid.
Neutralized.
Enemy UAV detected.
Target smoked.
Incoming Semtex.
Hostile UAV established above.
Semtex Pro.
Tossing cluster grenade.
Hostile counter UAV above. Hostile skewer inbound.
Hostile shooter.
They are pressing their advantage. Take control of this.
Warning. Kill action confirmed.
Hostile RCXD incoming.
Friendly fire detected.
All personnel withdraw. Trauma teams are inbound.
Damn it. Command's killing the link. Get home safe.
Eyes on hostile trophy.
hard point. Secure the objective. Hard point locked down. Got the lead. Hard point contested.
Incoming frag!
Contesting hard point. Hard point located. Hard point contested. Hard point is active. Hostiles have the hard point. Contesting hard point. Got the hard point.
Okie dokie. Enemy blackout. Front.
Hard point identified. Hard point active.
Okie dokie.
The guild took the hard point. Hard point contested. Hard point locked down. Contesting hard point. Got the hard point.
I'm a little lost.
Hostiles using field upgrade.
Hard point contested.
Good effect on target.
Hard point located.
Okie dokie.
Hard point is active. Hard point locked down. Contesting hard point.
Tactical front.
Hard point contested.
Skewer ready to launch.
Weaver authorizing
Skewer
force.
release this task. One shot available.
Contesting hard point.
Got contact. Here we go.
Okie dokie.
Hard point contested. Hard point identified.
Lynn requesting CUAV passage.
Hard point active.
What is so special about you?
Hostiles have the hard point. Contesting hard point.
Hostile kilo awaiting your orders.
Hard point contested.
Request denied. Airspace is full.
Got the hard point. Guys, good. We're in the lead. Maintain current posture. The guild took the hard point. Hard point located.
Cannot comply. Grid is full.
Deploying score speed.
Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint locked down.
Deploy Watchdog Kilo to my grid. Weaver authorizing score stream.
Okie dokie. Watchdog Kilo is on that front.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint active.
What is so special about you?
Got the hardpoint. Log everything. The guild's gonna pay for their fuck up.
the very designated skewer target.
Skewer release detected. Kill confirmed. Show some initiative, and Miss Kagan will take notice. Enemy UAV detected. Net call. Napalm strike inbound.
Logging UAV mission request.
Hostile UAV established above.
Don't piss off the robot.
Threat detected.
Smell that big guy? That's
Incoming flashbang.
Authorizing UAV.
Enemy UAV detected.
Deploy skewer in my AO.
Enemy CUAV established overhead. Hostile UAV established above. Hostile skewer inbound.
tagged one.
Incoming Semtex.
Enemy UAV detected. Incoming napalm strike detected in your AO. Performance is trending below acceptable thresholds. Enemy care package detected overhead.
Semtex out.
Hi, Bobtron. Hey, Bugs. Motherfucking. God damn it.
Net call. Napalm strike inbound. Hostile UAV established above.
What is pronounced Quay?
Wrong Semtex.
Would appear we have a strategic misalignment today.
Performance rating suboptimal. Consider service.
I was being facetious, Bugs.
Overload. All units, mission area designated a fuck 'em up zone. Hostiles have the EMP. Our zone has been overloaded. I've located a new EMP device. Enemies are carrying the device.
Threat down.
We have the overload device. Protect our zones. They have the overload device. Hostiles overloaded our control station. Secure the new device.
Yeah, but Bugs, the English language is weird like that.
The overload device is under hostile control. Gotta make your move. NTC's in the red. Hostiles overloaded our zone. New EMP device available. Enemies are carrying the EMP. Half time. Overload. Transport the EMP device into hostile zones. Skewer incoming! Hostiles have the overload device. We have the EMP. Enemies are carrying the device. Device acquired. Transport it to the enemy zone. Hostiles have the EMP.
Got one. Front. Shock charge identified.
We picked up the device. Heads up. Hostile scout pulse. Protect our zones. They have the overload device. Enemy EMP delivery successful. Hostiles release the skewer. New overload device available. We've picked up the EMP.
Hostile impact coming in. Enemy using
The overload device is in our control. Enemies are carrying the EMP.
Watch out, grenade!
device is under hostile control.
Perhaps you will learn.
We picked up the EMP.
Yeah, I saw a lot of. There's a lot of YouTube channels covering that situation.
Hostiles have the overload device.
The problem is the investment class thinks too highly of themselves. You know, they're like, oh, we need to cut costs. We're just gonna fire all the peons,
Protect our zones. They have the
all the
overload
bread and
device.
butter, the people who are making our stuff. They're the problem.
The overload device is in our control. Enemies are carrying the device.
Fucking blind.
Enemy overload successful. Our control station is down. I've located a new overload device.
Throwing
Viewer incoming. Hostiles have the EMP. If you got another here, now's the time.
perspective real quick. Bees need 2 million flowers to make 1 pound of honey. They need 6 to 8 pounds of honey to make 1 pound of wax. This frame turned out to be about half a pound of wax, which means at least 6 million flowers were visited to make just the wax. They then filled every cell with honey and then capped it with more wax. This frame ended up weighing around 7 pounds, which means, you guessed it, another 14 million flowers were visited to make the honey. Now for the even crazier part. This frame was entirely full and ready to harvest on October 2nd, which means the bees made all of this in 48 days. Nearly 300,000 flowers a day, not to mention the other 15 frames they're also filling with honey as well. I guess that's the kind of work that a hive of approximately 80,000 bees can accomplish. How fast can bees fill this empty frame with honey? On August 15th, I added a little bit of burr comb and a popsicle stick to this frame to give the bees a starting point. By August 24th, the bees have begun building out their first bit of comb, and then the crazy part happened. Just 12 days later, put that into perspective real quick. Bees need 2 million flowers to make 1 pound of honey. They need 6 to 8 pounds of honey to make 1 pound of wax. This frame turned out to be about half. This is kangaroo, and it's one of the biggest red meats on the entire planet. And I've always wanted to try it, and then I happened to find some butcher. So good fun. Now, kangaroo meat has been eaten in Australia for tens of thousands of years. But when you look at historic cookbooks, it's almost always boiled. I can't imagine that's the best way to prepare meat that is so meat. So I'm just searing it in a hot pan to a nice medium rare. I make it preferable to kangaroo tail soup or the gut kangaroo, which basically just has it simmered for hours on end. This way of preparing it ended up leaving it pretty juicy, so not that high fat. So the texture is fine, but I am not a fan of the taste. I like gamey things like venison, but that taste gave me to a
Today we have this $260 Tempest tournament pack from 1997. The pre-modern format is gaining popularity and is making cards from this era double in price nearly every time I check. With that said, this pack contains 60 cards, including a bunch of commons and lands, 12 uncommons, and 3 rares. And luckily for this set, there's something in every rarity which is worth a ton. So as far as the commons go, we want to see Lotus Petal, which is shot up to nearly $40 now. And then for the uncommons, we're looking for Ancient Tomb at $120. Then the top 2 rares are Earthcraft at $150 and Intuition at over $300. Will we see one? I don't know, but let's hope. Here we go. And hey, subscribe.
Oh, Bugs, you want to hear some good news?
Is collapsing today, and there's some really weird stuff going on with Reddit. We have a lot of their C-suite selling off a whole bunch of shares. And we have announcements that they're talking about, combating the bots, and they're going to do like facial ID and all that, which is not going well.
No, because they want to talk shit and they don't want to get hit. So they want to be able to say what they want anonymously, because Reddit's like a cesspool.
Oh, Reddit is a cesspool. Seriously, I would probably party harder if Reddit collapsed than I did when Twitter got bought by Elon Musk. Like I'd be like, Reddit is the biggest dumpster fire on the internet, but a lot of people that have been using Reddit as an attack site for the last 5-10 years now are freaking out because they're like, well, I'm going to leave the platform because I can't have my identity get leaked. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, as you go out and like delete
You dox people, but you can't have your identity out. Okay, I want privacy for myself, but everybody else, I'm gonna dox and harass them, So we're gonna talk about this, try to figure out what's going on, but it is very, very weird that we have a bunch of their C-suite selling off. That tells me
that is weird. That's concerning. Yes.
Things are not looking good at Reddit, and Reddit. The only thing that really propped them up, I think, over the last year or so was that they had deals with Google and stuff to train the AI. But I don't think they need them anymore. So we'll see. So before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're gonna take a big steaming dump on Reddit because God, I love the hatred.
To take a big steaming dump on Reddit?
I do. It relieves me of
I'm
all
sorry.
my
What is
anxiety.
that image of Elon Musk?
I don't know. He's either a cyborg or a Chip and Dale or Yes, or it's like a new He-Man character, Elon.
I don't. Yeah, that's actually like the last one. That's my favorite. Anyway,
All right, so let's look at the stock here, then we'll talk about what could be contributing to this. So this is coming from MarketBeat. I kind of wondered. You said Reddit stock just like dropped a freaking cliff. We thought it was just at first just that they were going to combat bots and do facial recognition. The users aren't liking that, of course. But there's something else going on. So they said shares of Reddit were down 8.2% on Thursday following insider selling activity.
Enemy UAV
yeah, that's a very good look when all your C-suite people start dumping their stock. And then you're like, why?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Thankfully, I don't have Reddit stock. I went to look and I don't. So I'm like, oh, hallelujah.
Specifically, CTO Christopher Brian Slow sold 9,500 shares of the firm's stock in a transaction that occurred on Monday, March 23rd. They were sold an average of $141.28 for a total transaction of like $1.3 million. Following that transaction, the chief technology officer owned 38,000 shares of the company's stock valued at about $5.4 million. This trade represents a 19.83% decrease in their ownership of the stock. The sale was disclosed in a legal filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is available through the SEC website. Also, COO Jennifer Wong sold 5,600 shares of the stock. So we've got 3 C-suite people selling off their Reddit stock. What the hell is going on?
Part of it, yeah.
They're not selling all of it.
Everybody's panicking and dropping their stock because they're like, all this was happening, and then they had the announcement that they're going to do recognition, which people aren't going to like. I mean, Reddit, they all want to be anonymous, so they can, keep talking shit all the time.
Yeah, so they had a buy rating and issued a $300 target price of shares of Reddit. Well, it's not going to happen. That's weird. There's something going on. I think they know that the House of Cards is going to collapse pretty damn soon, and they're trying to get out.
Yeah, so that's the thing, because it was just like one side of them on the beginning of it, but they're all doing it, and then the announcement today.
MTC is running dry. It is
now.
It's just a lot of, there's too many things to do.
Our zone, they have the overload device.
Yeah, so in related news, COO Jennifer Wong sold 33,000 shares of Reddit on March 18th.
So they did theirs first, and then
she sold some more. Oh, okay. So yeah, she sold 33,000 shares on March 18th, and then she sold another 5,600 shares after that. Something's wrong.
Something is not right here.
Something is very wrong.
When you have all your C-suite selling out their stock, I would recommend.
Getting the hell out.
Yeah, because that's weird. Why if they thought they were going to make money on it, they would be buying up stock. They wouldn't be selling their stock. But beyond that, it's weird that they all. It's not weird, but they all sell their stock, and then this announcement comes that they're going to start doing some work on it.
Yeah, so Reddit CEO Steve Huffman said that the platform is considering introducing ID verification to weed out the bots. So I'm wondering if it's going to come out. If it's going to come out like it did with Twitter when Elon Musk bought it, that Reddit is mostly fake, and that there's no value here. right? Because I've seen subreddit, like very obvious bot run or whatever subreddits. It's basically a bunch of activists took over the platform and then they're padding it. They chased off the normal people, so now they're padding it with a bunch of bots. That's what I think's going on.
You can find some groups on there like I do. I love
There's some.
I love Calico Critters and like Sylvie
She
and the
does.
family. I
She does.
have a problem. They're so cute. I can't even. And you can find groups on there that are relatively positive and they're real people. But then
Remember
you
that
have the
mission
big groups like
outcomes
Saltier and
influence
Crate, like the
promotion
bad ones,
prospects.
the Rainbow Colors and all
Enemy
that, and all these
UAV
people and they're
detected.
constantly.
Enemy care
It
package
seems
detected
like they're
overhead.
bots. It seems fake. They're constantly like person split up to drive everybody off. And it was always funny to me that was what Google was going to train the internet on.
Yeah, why would you train the internet on literally one of the worst sites on the internet? Like the full
Didn't
of,
used to be.
No, actually Reddit, and that's what I was trying to explain to our son, because he's all about, he goes on Reddit, but he doesn't actually interact. But I'm like, I was on Reddit the very first year it opened because I was working in tech and I wanted answers to questions. And hell, I still have my gold membership, which I forgot to turn off. I've been paying like $3 a month for the last umpteen years. But it used to just basically be tech bros answering questions, and people would post interesting things that they found on the internet, and we didn't have all these damn activists.
And you had the fun stuff like Am I an Asshole and all that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Like AMAs, you know, like that. And that was what it was used for, and then it just became this like
shit.
Overload device is under hostile
it's
control.
like Blue Sky, you know, it's proto Blue Sky.
Yeah, and there's a whole reason why this happened. What happened was we had a lot of the people came in from Occupy Wall Street because there was an anti-Wall Street sentiment. Reddit being more libertarian, it was a more libertarian site.
Another reason you're probably there. Anyway.
Yeah, that was another reason I was there. Yeah, admittedly, I am libertarian. But it was more libertarian leaning, and then we started having all these activists come in, and then they started stinking it up with their socialist bullshit, and then they chased off a lot of libertarians.
It's not just that, they like talk shit, they like make up shit about us like all the time.
Oh god, yeah, they
And
make
it's
up
all
shit about
lies,
everybody.
bullshit.
Our zone
and
has
then,
been
and they
overloaded.
keep and then they're running it like it's fact, and it's like it's whatever, they
Hostiles to our
can't.
inbound.
It can't go down fast enough as far as I'm concerned, so have fun.
So, yeah, this is coming from Engadget. This was a couple days ago. They said Reddit is weighing identity verification methods to combat its bot problem. Platform CEO
At least
mentioned
they admit there's a bot problem.
facial ID and touch ID as ways to verify if a human is using Reddit. A lot of
No
people
one's
like,
gonna want to put their face on. You're gonna have to put your face in the comments you've made. They're not gonna want to do
Our
that.
zone, they have the
so
overload
according to
device.
Steve Huffman, the social media platform is exploring different ways to verify if a user is human or not using not using a bot. When asked on a podcast how to confirm it's a human using Reddit, Huffman responded with several verification methods with varying degrees of heavy-handedness. Most lightweight way is something like Face ID or Touch ID. That's lightweight. Facial ID, that's they actually require a human presence. Besides, they're talking about passkeys, using biometric data.
That's creepy.
Yeah, nobody's gonna do that on
Overloaded our
Reddit,
zone.
right? I think
Would
it's
you
good.
trust Reddit with this information?
Hell no, because look, if you get somebody working at Reddit
UAV
that
established above.
aligns with these ridiculous Redditors, and they want to leak your info, leak your face, leak your whatever biometric data, leak your bank account, whatever, they would totally do it. I think the whole platform is infected with that.
Viewer release detected.
What gets me is like, for years, people have done things that are really shitty, and if their name's attached to it, they wouldn't have done
New
that.
EMP device
Or,
available.
Reddit has, come under fire for protecting people who like leaked things or did things and stuff like that.
Enemy
I don't think
delivery
Reddit's going to stand
successful.
by it anymore. Now they're going to have a person to prove that it was a person who did it. Here you go.
I've been fighting acne forever. This is Opportunity's new acne-fighting facial cleanser that just launched at Target. It's
Go. Here we
Yeah.
turn you over.
This, and they linked to this, and we've covered this before, that they said there actually was an experiment that they flooded Reddit with bots.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they experimented on Reddit users with AI-generated comments to see what happened. My hunch
We have the EMP.
is it's going to come out
Successful
very
overload,
soon
tech team.
that Reddit is
Enemy
like
UAV
80%
detected.
bots, and that the whole
Like every other social media platform.
yeah, it's all dead internet,
Located new EMP
and they've been
device.
scamming investors, and they've been
They have the
scamming
overload
advertisers, and the whole fucking thing is going to collapse. That's what I think.
I don't know what's going to happen, but
Rollback
something's going to
mission
happen
failure.
because the whole C-suite doesn't drop their stocks
No.
within days of each other for no reason.
That is very weird, and I just happened to see that because we were talking about, like, you know, we were like, hey, why is the stock dropping? And we thought it had something to do with this, but then it's like, shit, they've been selling off all along.
And here's the thing, it's like if one person sold off some stock because they were gonna make a big purchase and they needed to sell some stock to pay for it or something, or they wanted to switch deals, okay, you know, yeah, you're allowed to sell your stock. So that'd be okay. If one person did it, it wouldn't think anything of it. But the one chick that started, she went back and did it twice.
She
and
did
then all
twice,
the
yeah.
people are dropping like, and we're not talking about. I just sold a little bit of my stock off to, like, you know, get some cash. We're talking like significant amounts. And of course, when you drop that much stock and it's millions of dollars in amounts, that's going to impact the stock price.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here they're bringing it up here on TechCrunch. They said they're talking about the changes to the platform. They're going to do some kind of verification, right? So the changes are meant to address the growing problem of bots engaging on social media platforms and the web more broadly, where they're often used to influence politics, spread misinformation. Reddit is notorious for that. Inflate popularity, also Reddit. Secretly market products and generate fake ad clicks. According to Cloudflare, the traffic from bots will exceed human traffic by 2027 when you include bots like web crawlers and AI agents. So we're talking... The dead internet is here. There are more bots on the internet now than there are humans, and I think they're driving the humans away. I think this is why we're seeing a push to go back to analog devices and offline devices, because it's the internet is so shitty right now. They said Reddit in particular has become a popular destination for bots that attempt to manipulate narratives, astroturf to shill for companies or their products, repost links, post spam, drive traffic, conduct research, and more. Plus, because Reddit's content is used for AI training, thanks to lucrative deals with AI model providers, there's a suspicion that bots are even posting questions on the site to generate more training data, particularly in areas where AI is lacking information. I have noticed that on Reddit and Quora, that there are questions being asked that no human would think to ask. Like, nobody is legitimately looking for this particular SEO term, but a bot would.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. So yeah, the co-founder, Alexis Ohanian, has also addressed a related problem known as the dead internet theory, a conjecture that bots outnumber humans online. The vast majority of content, interactions, web activity is automated or AI generated. Yes, now they're looking at the human verification. I think what's going to happen is they're going to roll this human verification out, and they're going to realize how fucked they actually are. Because
I think they already know how fucked they actually are.
We do this, and it turns out that the platform's maybe a tenth of what we thought it was.
Here's the thing, though. They wouldn't be doing that unless there was a reason, the verification. There has to be some reason we're not privy to, or something in the back end, like someone's legal or something. There's got to be some reason, because there's no way they don't know that you know that it's mostly bots. Just like everybody knew Twitter was mostly bots. Everybody knew that. And everybody knows Reddit is. So there's no way they don't know. But they'd be content to leave it go as is, because they're going to make money and they're going to be able to keep the stock up and all that. The fact that they're not letting it go as is, and all of a sudden the C-suite people are dropping their stock before they announce they aren't going to let it go as is, there's something going on.
Yeah,
that's a catalyst for all of this.
They know some shoe is going to drop here pretty damn soon. That's an opinion, but you don't have multiple people from the C-suite ditch their stock because they know the stock's not going to go up anymore. They know it's not going up more because you'd hold on to it. If you knew it was going to hit $300, $400 a share, you'd hold on to it, right?
Right.
But you're like, that's it. That's like, I sold off my Disney stock when it hit like $200 a share or whatever, because I'm like, Disney is never going to be this high again anytime soon.
And they mocked you for it.
They did. The people from Reddit mocked me for it. Yes.
It was funny. This is interesting though. The Ready for Conspiracy Theory. Hear me out. They pushed AI so much, we end up with the slop we have and force us to verify our IDs and private information so they can control us all more. Which is a plan they tried to achieve several times to harm our privacy already. In code law, it'll only get worse. So basically, they deliberately made it full of AI slop so that you have to prove you're human so they can have your information. Is what they're trying to argue.
That, and then they'll market to you, and then they'll know what you're posting. This is all.
Just go off of it.
I am telling you, and I've talked about this before, and people thought I was crazy. I'm not crazy. I think we're going to wind up with another internet at some point in time. I think we're going to have a totally different internet that's going to feel like the original internet, and we're not going to have all this corporate
Well, there you
government
go.
bullshit.
Go get some investors and some people, some partners, and go make it.
No, but if we do that, you're going to drag the corporations into it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's true.
Because as soon as you go get venture capital, they want a return on that. So you're going to have to be like, how are you going to make money on this? Well, we're going to have to sell ads. Okay, well, then the whole thing repeats.
Well, you have to sell ads anyway, because if you're trying to replace the fact that people are losing their incomes with their blogs and everything else, you're losing your income. You have to have a way to monetize, because Google took it away. You have other internet, people can go advertise on the other internet, and people are going to need that back because, but yeah, it'll be Google all over again. They'll advertise on that one too. I don't know. The whole thing's a piece of shit. I mean, Reddit something. I mean, something's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting to watch what's going down, because there's definitely, the rats don't jump off the ship unless something bad's coming or happening.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Now it's interesting. I forgot. So Dig, I don't know if you want to talk about old internet or 2000s internet. Dig was a bookmarking site for the longest time, right? Dig came back and it tried to be Reddit and it couldn't make a go of it, so it already has collapsed.
I didn't even know it tried. Why would it try to come back and be Reddit?
Because
that doesn't make any sense.
People think Reddit is it, and like if Reddit is fake, then that model doesn't work. Because I can't believe all
social media is mostly fake at this point. I'd argue pretty much any social media platform.
This is Buick now. Buick, exceptional by design. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2026 Buick Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for around $479 per month.
Now, where will I find hope? It's in us. It's in moments like this. It's in the purpose and mission of the Marine Museum, right? We have to insist on.
Is like this.
Well, something's going on with X too, and I just posted about it ironically on X. There's some weird shit going on over there that all of a sudden they were going to crack down on foreign accounts, on accounts from India or Nigeria, and they weren't going to pay them, and then all of a sudden they walk that back. We've got people that are suspected as being in other countries, and now all of a sudden they're in America, so they can continue to pay them. We've got some of the big accounts like Libs of TikTok getting hit with a massive bill. They canceled their account, but there's some weird stuff going on. They're moving features unannounced. They're moving features from one tier to another tier to make you pay more. I think it's going to come out that all of social media is a fucking sham. It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay, and now we're starting to see. I think we're also at the very beginning of the bubble bursting in AI, because I did another video today talking about OpenAI, and they're screwed. They're like screwed. The reason they shut Sora down as fast as they shut it down was it was using too much compute power. There was no path forward to profitability. They tossed overboard. They
already knew this. This is what pisses me off.
Yeah.
They've already gotten rid of so many people over AI. And we said this. I know we said this like a couple years ago or a year, when this whole thing started. We said that they're spending billions of dollars on this and they're getting nowhere. And it's going to take years for it to be even to a place where they can use it for what they want to use it for. And then it was cheaper to keep using people in the long run. And we said this then. And that was years ago. And then not to mention the environmental impact and all that stuff on this. And now they're starting to learn, but they sunk billions of dollars into it, ruined lots of people's lives by laying them off or getting rid of them to be replaced with AI that was never sustainable to fucking begin with. And then even at the end of the day, let's say the AI is sustainable and you lay everybody off, who the fuck's gonna buy your products?
Yeah.
No one has any damn money. So this was always going to happen. But they're so fucking stupid, and the rich trying to get richer, that they're just, a tool, yes, but you cannot use it to replace people and use it the way you guys want to use it. It's ridiculous. And then the fact that they were like, and there's no safeguards on these things, and they're trying to have people kill themselves. AI psychosis. It's for humanity in general. It's a detriment. It's a tool. It is not a replacement.
So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Reddit. There's definitely something going on here. So
yeah, it's very interesting about Reddit. There's something big going on, because the whole C-suite doesn't sell off their stocks like that for no damn good reason.
No.
Like I said, the rats start jumping off the ship.
Hey, what's up, guys? Surf here. So we just got some more information regarding the upcoming HBO series Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And just like anything to do with the Harry Potter IP these days, it is mired in controversy thanks to the efforts of the most annoying people on social media who are launching a multi-pronged assault against this series because they're upset about multiple things. And after watching this video, you might find yourself thinking, do I want this series to succeed or fail? Because if it succeeds, it'll make one annoying sect of people very angry. If it fails, it'll make a similar annoying sect of people very angry. So it's really up in the air. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the reactions to the race swap of Professor Snape, which is getting a lot of backlash as well as memes. But this is a Harry Potter IP, so let's begin at the ground level. J.K. Rowling, the creator of the franchise, obviously, and anything involving her stirs up the most annoying people on social media who genuinely believe that she is a raging transphobe and that she is responsible for trans people being ended all across the globe. And that sort of sentiment is reflected in quotes like this, saying, if you watch and support this latest IP, you are funding trans genocide globally, by the way.
Extra beach time? Yes, please. Extra accessories? Obviously.
Globally, by the way. So this sort of astroturfed hysteria involving Harry Potter IPs is nothing new. We saw this a few years back with Hogwarts Legacy, which was a game that probably would have just came and gone without a big stir, but there was a boycott focused on this game, trying to target anyone playing or streaming this because they believed doing so made you a transphobe. This began as a friendly reminder in quotes like this, where people were saying, if you care about trans people, you wouldn't support this IP. Then it became, on launch, an effort to actively go after people streaming this. In fact, there were whole websites dedicated to tracking people streaming Hogwarts Legacy for the purpose of conducting hate raids and harassing streamers, to the point where you had people like Silvervale getting threats and even their family doxxed for simply streaming this game and being told to off herself for being upset that that happened. But of course, we know how this ended. The boycott against this game backfired. It rallied people to buy this game to spite the most annoying and unhinged people online, and Hogwarts Legacy would top over 40 million units sold. These days we talk about games selling a few million copies as some sort of a triumph. This sold 40 million. In the year of its release, this was the highest selling game it made, well over $1 billion in revenue. Thanks to people like this. We're continuing on with the latest IP, saying, if you watch and support this, you are funding trans genocide globally, by the way. Now, of course, they're trying to enact a great deal of hysteria, but also peer pressure and moral guilt-tripping like this in the replies, where this individual says, all of the actors and most of the crew are complicit. Complicit in what? This person's, like, insane reality that they're projecting onto everyone else, and also Snape complicit as well. Wow. But the original poster responds by saying, yup, it's sad these people hate trans people. I feel bad for the kids whose parents allowed this and that will undoubtedly regret this and denounce it when they're older. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen. Yeah, those poor kids who have well-adjusted parents who allow their kids to consume a franchise without giving them a 6-hour lecture about how it's actually going to cause a genocide amongst trans people. And you can see another interaction here. This person saying, I'm so effing tired of people like you brainwashing trans people into believing they can't be friends with anyone who isn't a performative consumer of unproblematic content. And the original poster says, where did I say you cannot be friends with people? I'm just saying that if you watch this and if you watch this, you stand with transphobia. That's all they're saying. They're not saying you can't be friends with people. All they're saying is if you consume Harry Potter, you're funding a trans genocide and that you stand with transphobia. I mean, seriously, we know what this person's doing. That's exactly what they're trying to drive at here. But the other user responds by saying, and by extension, I hate my trans friends. Harry Potter sucks, but if kids love it, let them watch it. And the original poster says, I don't think you hate them. I just think you probably don't care about them as much as you think you do. If me pointing this out makes you insecure, you should think about why that is. Wow, that is super deep. This person is avoiding the entire premise of what they're pushing here. They're trying to say if you support this in any sort of way, you are supporting a trans genocide. Okay? It's not about not caring about them as much as you think. You are making it very clear what this means to support this series under this reality they find themselves living in. By reality, I mean whatever they have concocted for the most outrage. And to give you an idea of the person we're dealing with here who's spreading this sort of hysteria, this is the hidden replies. Now, let me make this clear. You have to manually click on every single reply and click on hide reply. So every single one you're about to see was manually hidden by this user. And I'm only going to scroll through a little bit.
Check our zone. They have the overload device. Threat eliminated.
I'm not even halfway through, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what one of the hidden replies was from? Asmongold, who left this saying, not being able to use the women's restroom isn't genocide. Not only do you delegitimize real genocides that have happened, but you also train people to ignore trans issues by making ridiculous comparisons. I can see why Asmongold's comment would be hidden by this person who's trying to fuel absolute hysteria, even if it makes people not want to listen to any issues being raised, because this stuff is delegitimizing any sort of issue being brought up in the original post, because this person is making these ridiculous comparisons. We're talking about watching a show on TV. Okay, it's an HBO series. Relax. And this is the sort of mentality a lot of these people have on social media. You can see this image here where they claim J.K. Rowling is saying, end every trans person, and this person, who I guess is supposed to be like a blind consumer, says, I'm an ally, I just really like Harry Potter. Unfortunately for this user, J.K. Rowling has never said anything like that, and of course, this is the hysteria they're looking for, and it's pointed out here saying she never said to end trans people. This is a lie. Not only that, they actively try to shame non-politically driven fans. I will buy anything she has written or has her name associated with, because they have to lie to attack her, and I hate liars. I support J.K. Rowling. She did nothing wrong. Resist the radical left-wing cults. Resist.
You hustle for your business. That's why TurboTax experts for business earn your quarter, working for every dollar your business earns.
Enemies are carrying the EMP.
You have two options. End up your taxes from start to finish by matching a dedicated business expert. Or
our zone, they have the overload device.
Resist. And here's some more of that, saying important reminder, if you are still engaging with the Harry Potter franchise, you are hurting trans people. Separate the art from the artist does not apply when the artist does this. Putting nostalgia above human rights is a display of weak character. I got a sneaking suspicion that this display of weak character is projection coming from an individual who is having a meltdown over people watching an HBO series about Harry Potter. But also, you see this whole separate the art from the artist does not apply in this situation. These people will use that sort of mentality only when they think it is applicable. Like, they don't use this generally, but they're deciding in this situation, you simply cannot separate the art from the artist, because people like this want to spread these ridiculous comparisons and spread a whole bunch of hysteria. Then you look at the accounts who are making these sorts of posts, and, you know, it just makes sense. You know, this person clearly is terminally online, and they would be very upset about stuff like this. But let's move on to the other half of this video, talking about the race swap of Severus Snape. This isn't anything that's exactly new, but it is obviously now confirmed and was presented as a part of the Season 1 teaser here, and people were very critical of this decision. Because not only is it just a seemingly pointless race swap, it also doesn't make sense from a character point of view. It's kind of a Snow White situation with Rachel Zegler, where the name Snow White is supposed to be coming from the fact that her skin is as white as snow, Same with this, people pointing out that a major part of the novel is how Snape has greasy hair, and all the students are disgusted by it. And now they gave him dreads. Right. Yeah, what did they mean by this? But of course, people are trying to hype this up, saying the dreads, the drip, aura. See, that's kind of the problem here. You care more about aura than respecting the entire basis of the character, right? The aura Snape is supposed to have is being creepy, right? Like, that's the whole point. He's supposed to be off-putting, at least when you look at him physically. But now we're worried about having, like, a positive aura with Snape. That's some sort of a win here. It makes absolutely no sense. And again, if you want to make some new characters, some new black characters, why don't you go and do that instead of just needlessly race swapping existing white characters for no reason? And in fact, in cases like this, it seems contradictory to what the character's supposed to look like based on what the novels are saying. But of course, don't point this out, especially if you're a black man like this, because people will call you derogatory terms like this. And as pointed out, yes, because not liking a race swap somehow means I hate my skin and want to be white. Yeah, according to Twitter, that's what they're gonna say. But also some more simple points to be made. A wizard's costume should not have a zipper. Correct. That is actually a very fair point to make here. Also, there's a lot of memes coming out, including AI-generated music videos, and quite frankly, they are hilarious. But there's also a really nefarious aspect to all of this. As pointed out here, the Hollywood playbook: race swap a beloved character, fans reject it, make the actor the victim, actor talks about the racist backlash, release the trailer featuring the race swapped character, use the actor's race as a shield for criticism, time and time again, just stop. So obviously, again, this wasn't a new announcement, it was something announced about a year ago, right? But eventually, the actor behind this new rendition of Snape would say the abuse fuels him, and all of the racist backlash is only empowering his decision to go for this role. And eventually, the teaser is released, and we're having this conversation again, and people are dismissing any criticism as the product of racism. And then you have posts like this saying the new Harry Potter looks fire. I don't give a F. And you know what? This series might be really good. In fact, a lot of people are looking at the overall trailer, the overall teaser for this project, and they think it looks pretty good. But that's the point, right? We're distracted from that, and instead people are talking about the race swap of Snape. Like, that is the point. A needless race swap has become the focal point of the internet's attention. And they knew that was going to happen, and anyone who's seen this stuff happen before knew this would be the results. But this is more important, I guess, than actually putting more focus on the quality of the show itself. I don't know. This whole thing is an absolute mess, as always. Anything with a Harry Potter IP these days is going to be the subject of a lot of backlash and controversy, and this is just another example of that. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about this video's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Hey, what's up, guys? Rick here. So over the past couple of weeks, there's been multiple rounds of drama in the Marvel Rivals community, and it seems like each situation has been getting increasingly stupid as we keep progressing through them, and today is no exception. We're dealing with a situation where one streamer is calling out a bigger streamer, accusing them of very, very problematic behavior. Now, this is the final response we'll see from the one streamer in question who's making the call-out thread we're going to focus on, where they're wishing death upon multiple users. Now, you have to ask yourselves, what is the situation that would lead us to this sort of a response? Well, spoiler alert, it has to do with no-no words. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that streamer was accusing FanFan of being problematic because she and her community used the forbidden R word. And yeah, this individual right here is very upset about that, to the point where they made the call-out thread in question saying this: "It's getting to a point that I cannot watch any big Marvel rival streamers because they're either misogynistic, racist, or ableist, and their chats/friends are complicit and encourage them to continue the antics. Like, why are we spamming the R word in the big 2026? Grow up." And the screenshot she included is from FanFan's stream, and the streamer making the call out, who also goes by Queen Tofu, is in the reply saying, if there's a slur that hurts marginalized communities, I don't know why we're saying it. Now, it becomes very clear what we're talking about specifically in the situation when this user says, "What's the R word? Retard?" And the streamer responds by saying, "Yeah, but why are you saying it too?" Well, I just said it myself because I'm quoting this tweet, which, by the way, people have tried to cancel me for in the past, for literally reading that word in a tweet, not directing it at anyone, not using it as an insult, just quoting a tweet that is relevant to my video. And you can imagine in the 1,300 responses made to this post what the most common phrase was in the replies. But our main protagonist here, Victoria, is very upset about what FanFan did. And some people are saying, well, then go watch someone else, instead of begging for attention and posting about them, saying this person says something I agree with, I disapprove, we should police them. And Victoria says, I did watch someone else, I posted it. So if one day tries to pivot into another industry, moments like this will follow her.
Contesting hardpoint.
Yes, it's not just a
locked down.
call-out post
Hardpoint
for
is
the time
active.
being. She wants this to be a life ruination type situation where this horrible act by FanFan is going to follow her no matter where she goes in
Hardpoint
her
contested.
career. In fact, the responses are really telling about this individual. So again, you can see someone responding saying, "You're probably an idiot or someone with low self-esteem. Please the virtue signal and try to get the attention to pick that on yourself." Victoria responds by saying,
Hardpoint contested.
Well, that was a very common
Contesting hardpoint. Got the hardpoint. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint identified.
Charlie Kirk, when someone pointed out that he was a father and husband, and
Hardpoint
that even
active.
if you politically disagree,
Hardpoint locked down.
justifies such a sick act. And she
Hardpoint
says,
contested.
my unwoke opinion for today is that I'm all right with it. Yeah, she's all right with
Contesting
a wife
hardpoint.
being widowed and children not growing up with a father because she doesn't like their political opinions. In fact, it gets even worse, where she says,
Hardpoint contested.
I'm glad and I hope it scares all MAGA
Contesting hardpoint.
So not only is she celebrating his
Heads up! Enemy HKD drop detected.
influencer that they now fear for their lives constantly. Totally unhinged.
Hardpoint located.
Lethal!
The field took the hardpoint.
Constantly. Totally unhinged.
Hardpoint is active.
But it gets even worse.
Got the hardpoint.
She then starts talking about Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, and says in all likelihood, she's a prostitute. She chose to breed with that thing, so I don't feel bad for her. Hope one day she decides to not be a piece of crap. This is the
Hardpoint
person
contested.
who is wagging her finger at FanFan and her community for the word retard.
Hostiles have the
That is the
hardpoint.
kind of person
Enemy
who
UAV
thinks they're
detected.
morally superior to you. And because of what we just saw, it really shouldn't surprise you that in this context, she says, I
Hardpoint
hope
locked
they
down.
die. Whether it's referring to people using
Hostile
the
care
R
package
word, or in
above.
this case, the hard R, which some people are
Hardpoint
construing as
identified.
possibly the N-word, either way, she's saying people should die for words on the internet, which would also, no matter what the context, apply to even,
Hardpoint
let's say,
active.
black people
took the hard point.
R word, I don't really know. It's clear she wants people to
Got the hard
pass
point.
away, to have their lives ended over words on the internet. Now, if she's
Hard
mad
point
about
contested.
those replies in
Net
this
call.
situation,
Napalm strike
she's gonna
inbound.
be really mad about Fan's response to this whole situation. Fan's response to her tweet whining about everything we've been mentioning.
Smoke out.
Oh my god, guys. Let me tell. Holy shit.
Hardpoint locked
Lindsay
down.
and Imperator linked me a fucking tweet from this dumb bitch on Twitter who's like, I can't watch anything Marvel rival streamers because they're all for saying things.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point located. Contesting hard point.
Brother.
Got the hard point.
What in the
Hard point is active.
And then I also got linked a screenshot of one of her tweets, and it was one of her tweets quoting Nick was being like, I don't think people are banning supports because I don't actually think people are banning supports because they're sexist. I think people are banning supports because supports are
Hard
right
point
now.
locked down.
And her being like,
The guild took the hard
misogyny
point.
is everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That fucking tracks. That's somebody being supported.
Contesting hard point. Hostiles have the hard point. Got the hard point. Hard point contested.
Had to do with misogyny and racism, like
Hard point identified.
gigantic reach to begin with, but you can see Fan has absolutely no problem doubling down on the situation and mocking this ridiculous campaign.
Hard point active.
Asmongold in the replies
The guild took the
saying
hard
this.
point.
I'm not sure how, but somewhere
Contesting hard point.
HR Karen controlling mindset was allowed into the gaming community. Glad to see they're being rightfully taken out of it again. Keep it up, guys. Of course, the people who were trying to side with the victorious streamer were very upset to see
Hostile
that.
UAV established above.
Replies saying, I don't know, man. If I had Asmongold in the greasy basement dweller
Hardpoint locked down.
themselves defending me, I would probably hate myself for reasons how bad these people want to say the R word in any conversation they have. And you just look at the accounts and it's just like, these people are
Hardpoint contested.
utterly
Hardpoint located.
or someone using a word online. This is the dreaded R word.
Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Asmongold would agree with that. In fact, here's another reply saying, imagine saying
Contesting
something so
hardpoint.
stupid and out of touch that a
Got the hard point.
creature like Asmongold agrees with you. I blow my
Hardpoint contested.
So this person is sure like Asmongold had any similar opinion than them.
The guild took the hard point.
Enemy field upgrade.
Contesting hard point.
Outside of the jokes, I mean, it is one person saying Fan has been one of the biggest users for a while now.
Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hard point.
We should have
Hardpoint identified.
based on the streamer awards, but Twitch just kind of like that. So now we see Twitch self-images that
Hardpoint active.
in fact,
The guild took the hard
something
point.
to say about that as well.
Self-explode.
Have a habit of just starting eventually, though, and they're not going to happen. This is referring to
Hardpoint contested.
well, like the scheme of things. Maybe she'll be famous on Twitch, but she'll never ever get out of that realm. Not with this digital footprint. She will find it
What are you
difficult
waiting
to
for? Make your move.
with all of her behavior following her.
Contesting hardpoint.
Kettle Black. This person celebrating political violence in their minds over political issues is talking about a digital footprint because this person doesn't feel the need to censor herself when saying certain
Hardpoint
problematic words on the internet. That is entirely but here's another one saying, unsurprisingly, fan
Enemy care package dropping.
essentially privileged.
Got the hard contested.
says
Hardpoint is
user
active.
so privileged that they can speak with a very symbol in their name. It is allowed to do so because they have the freedom of speech. So, benefits of the systems they need so much. Someone's bio for what
Hardpoint
exactly
contested.
it is. I mean, it's a discussion.
Skewer incoming. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Contesting hardpoint. The field took the hardpoint.
Up in arms and a lot of people lasting, and I hope it doesn't matter. But that's going to do it for this video as always.
Hostile care package above. Enemy UAV detected. Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint active. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Contesting hardpoint. Hostiles released a skewer. Hardpoint contested. Got the hardpoint. Contesting hardpoint. The field took the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint locked down. Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint located. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint is active. Got the hardpoint.
You're available for assignment.
Contesting hardpoint.
Deploying skewer on your target.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Can't believe we lost to a bunch of 401ks.
Damn it. What the hell was that?
And now I'm trying to make my money. Well, starting off with the unrefuelable selection, you choose two. Definitely the most expensive option here is the 3-piece chicken tender and 3-piece chicken nugget, which brings you to about 18 ringgit already. That means you need to cover back 12 more ringgit through this unlimited refill. Now, if you're calculating the a la carte price of the fries is absurd, hence will be based on the upset price difference, which the same calculation is applied to the iced latte too. And of course, never forget about the Oreo McFlurry. As amongst all refillable, this is the expensive. In other words, as long as you can eat 3 Oreo McFlurry or 6 fries, or in any mix and match manner, you can easily get your money worth through this all you can eat. But that's just too much McDonald's for me. I'll just get a set. This doesn't amuse me. I just want to flex my math. Hit me up if you have unlimited chicken nugget. This is me, an Asian, as McDonald's in Malaysia is now having an all-you-can-eat for only $7.50. And now I'm trying to make my money. Well, starting off with the unrefuelable selection, you choose two. Definitely the most expensive option here is the 3-piece chicken tender and 3-piece chicken nugget, which brings you to about 18 ringgit already. That means you need to cover back 12 more ringgit through this unlimited refill. Now, if you're calculating the a la carte price of the fries is absurd, hence will be based on the upset price difference, which the same calculation is applied to the iced latte too. And of course, never forget about the Oreo McFlurry. As amongst all refillable, this is the expensive. In other words, as long as you can eat 3 Oreo McFlurry or 6 fries, or in any mix and match manner, you can easily get your money worth through this all you can eat. But that's just too much McDonald's for me. I'll just get a set. This doesn't amuse me. I just want to flex my math. Hit me up if you have unlimited chicken nugget. This is me, an Asian, as McDonald's in Malaysia is now having an all-you-can-eat for only $7.50. And now I'm trying to make
my money. Well, starting off with the unrefillable selection, you choose two. Definitely the most
This 110-year-old eraser company survived bombing, went bankrupt, and then accidentally invented the world's first plastic eraser. In 1915, a guy opens a small rubber factory in Japan. Erasers, rubber bands, glue, basically anything rubber. He names the brand Seed, as in planting small seeds of wisdom that grow into something bigger. By the 1920s, Seed erasers are being exported worldwide. 70% of their sales are international. They're huge. Then World War II happens. The factory gets bombed in 1945. Almost everything is destroyed. After the war, the company
Tired of changing your role? Upgrade to the Charmin Forever roll. And go up to 1 month before changing your role. Comes with 2 Forever rolls. And a premium stainless steel roll holder. Oh yeah.
Of secondary copyright liability. Cox Communications Inc. versus Sony Music Entertainment. Decided March 25th, 2026 by the U.S. Supreme Court. 1. The billion-dollar question. On March 25th, 2026, the Supreme Court of the United States handed down its decision in Cox Communications versus Sony Music Entertainment, reversing a billion-dollar jury verdict, and in the process, redrawing the boundaries of secondary copyright liability in American law. The question at the heart of the case was deceptively simple. Can an internet service provider be held liable as a copyright infringer for continuing to provide internet access to subscribers it knows are using that access to pirate music? The answer, in a 7-2 opinion authored by Justice Thomas, was no. Not because the court doubted that piracy was occurring. Over a 2-year period, Sony's monitoring agents sent Cox more than 163,000 notices identifying IP addresses associated with infringement. Not because the court was indifferent to copyright holders' plight, but because under the court's precedents, knowledge that a service will be used for infringement has never been enough to make the service provider an infringer. Something more is required. The provider must have intended its service to be used for infringement, and the court held that this intent can be established in only 2 ways. This video explains the decision, its doctrinal architecture, and its practical consequences for both copyright practitioners and content creators. 2. How we got here, the road to the Supreme Court. To understand why this case matters, one must first understand the legal theory that the court dismantled. Copyright law recognizes 2 forms of secondary liability. Liability imposed not on the person who actually copies or distributes a copyrighted work, but on someone who facilitates that infringement or participates in that infringement. The first is vicarious liability, which attaches when a party profits from infringement it has the right and ability to supervise. The second is contributory liability, which is the subject of this case. For decades, the prevailing formulation of contributory liability in the lower courts derived from the Second Circuit's 1971 decision in Gershwin Publishing Corporation versus Columbia Artists Management, Inc. One who, with knowledge of this infringing activity, induces, causes, or materially contributes to the infringing conduct of another is a contributory infringer. Under this formulation, Sony's case against Cox was straightforward. Cox knew, from 163,148 notices, that specific IP addresses on its network were being used for infringement. Cox continued to provide internet service to those accounts. That continued provision of the service, Sony argued, was a material contribution to the infringement. The Fourth Circuit agreed, holding that supplying a product with knowledge that the recipient will use it to infringe copyrights is sufficient for contributory liability. The facts, however, were not quite so clean. Cox had implemented a graduated response system. Warnings after the second notice, service suspensions after additional notices, and termination eligibility after 13 notices. Cox maintained that this system ended 98% of identified infringement,
Secure the objective.
Told a different story to Sony's lawyers during the claim.
The field took the hard point.
Practice for infringement while terminating hundreds of thousands for non-payment. Internal Cox Communications revealed infringement notices as a nuisance and were reluctant to replace subscriber revenue by acting on them. The jury sided with Sony, found the infringement willful, and awarded $1 billion in statutory damages. The Fourth Circuit affirmed non-contributory liability, reversed on vicarious liability, and vacated the damages for speculation. The Supreme Court to address the contributory
Contesting hardpoint.
alone.
Hardpoint locked down.
3. The court's holding.
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Only 2.
Hardpoint contested.
Begins from a premise of
Hardpoint
restraint.
identified.
The Copyright Act does not expressly create secondary liability. The statute says that anyone who violates the copyright law is exclusive
Be
rights.
advised. Enemy watchdog helo incoming. Hardpoint active.
Secondary liability in copyright is a judicial creation.
The field took the hardpoint. Contesting hardpoint. Got the hardpoint.
From this starting point, the majority distilled contributory liability from a framework. A service provider is contributorily liable for a user's infringement only if it is
Hardpoint contested. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
established in multiple
Hardpoint locked down. Contesting hardpoint. The field took the hardpoint.
infringement through specific acts.
Enemy UAV detected.
Or otherwise affirmatively pushing users towards infringing uses of the service. The paradigmatic
Hardpoint located.
versus Rochester in 2005. File sharing
Got the hardpoint.
as a tool for manipulating copyright works. Illegal.
Hardpoint is
The
active.
principle of the
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. The field took the hardpoint.
substantial or commercially significant non-infringing uses. This is the standard from Sony of America versus Universal City Studios from 1984, the Baymax case, where the court held that the sale of a videotape recorder to the general public did not constitute contributory infringement because the device was capable of substantial non-infringing uses, such as recording television programs for later personal
Established above.
Having stated the framework,
Contesting
the majority
hardpoint.
applied it to Cox.
Got the hardpoint.
Easily resolved. Cox did not never promoted piracy or encouraged piracy. It acted
Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint identified. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
infringement.
Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpopoint active.
Good for nothing else. The majority then addressed the Fourth Circuit's standard directly in rejected. The Fourth Circuit had held that knowledge plus continued
Hardpoint
provision of
contested.
service was sufficient.
Got the hardpoint.
The Supreme Court held that this went beyond the two recognized forms of contributory liability and conflicted with the
Contesting hardpoint. The field took the hardpoint.
Target appears. Knowledge of the service was used for infringement is insufficient.
Launching UAV. Hardpoint contested. Enemy care package dropping.
The DMCA problem. A safe
Hardpoint located.
storm.
Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
And it concerns the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. In 1998, Congress
Enemy
created a
UAV.
safe harbor under 17 U.S.C. Section 512 that shields ISPs from secondary copyright liability, but only if they adopt and reasonably implement a policy for terminating repeat infringers. Sony's argument was elegant. If ISPs face no underlying liability for providing service to known infringers, the safe harbor is superfluous. Congress would not have conditioned immunity on a repeat infringer policy unless there was some liability to be immune from. The majority disposed of this argument in a single paragraph invoking Section 512L, which provides that failure to qualify for the safe harbor shall not bear adversely upon a service provider's defense that its conduct is not infringing. The DMCA, the court reasoned, does not impose liability, it merely creates defenses, and the statute's own text forecloses drawing a negative inference from the provider's failure to qualify for those defenses. This is, by any measure, the most consequential practical implication of the decision. The DMCA's repeat infringer termination requirement was the primary legal lever that copyright holders used to compel ISP cooperation. After Cox v. Sony, that lever has no force. ISPs may continue to maintain repeat infringer policies for business reasons, but they have no legal obligation to do so, and the failure to act on infringement notices carries no legal consequence under a contributory liability theory. Cox's own attorney conceded at oral argument that under the court's rule, the safe harbor provision would not do anything at all going forward. 5. The road not taken. Justice Sotomayor's concurrence. Justice Sotomayor, joined by Justice Jackson, concurred in the judgment but wrote separately to challenge virtually every aspect of the majority's reasoning. Her concurrence is significant not only for what it says about the case, but for the roadmap it provides for future litigants. The core of her disagreement is doctrinal. She argues that Sony and Grokster, the very cases the majority relies upon, expressly left open the possibility that other common law theories of secondary liability could apply in the copyright context. Grokster stated in plain terms that Sony neither displaced other theories of secondary liability nor foreclosed rules of fault-based liability derived from the common law. The majority, Sotomayor charges, does precisely what Grokster said courts should not do. It treats two previously applied theories as the only theories that can ever apply, without engaging with the precedent that held the door open. Having identified this error, Sotomayor turns to the theory she would apply: common law aiding and abetting. Drawing from two recent decisions, Twitter Inc. v. Tamna in 2023, involving social media platforms and ISIS terrorism, and Smith & Wesson Brands versus Estados Unidos Mexicanos in 2025, involving gun manufacturers and cartel violence. The concurrence identifies the core requirement of aiding and abetting liability. The defendant must consciously and culpably participate in a wrongful act so as to help make it succeed, with the intent of facilitating the offense. Importantly, Sotomayor acknowledges that intent can sometimes be inferred from knowledge. The Reinstatement Second of Torts provides that when an actor knows the consequences of his actions are certain or substantially certain, the law treats that knowledge as intent. But this inference requires highly specific knowledge, and that is where Cox's case falls apart, even under the concurrence's more flexible framework. The concurrence identifies three fatal gaps in Sony's evidence. First, infringement notices only identified IP addresses, not users. Cox could not know who within a household, dormitory, or coffee shop committed the infringement. Second, Cox provided service to regional ISPs that in turn served thousands of downstream users, a chain of intermediaries analogous to the middlemen distributors in Smith & Wesson that attenuated any inference of intent. Third, Sony's allegations were generalized rather than transaction-specific, and under Smith & Wesson, such generalized theories require proof of pervasive, systemic, and culpable assistance, a bar that mere indifference to infringement does not clear. The practical significance of the concurrence is that it articulates a path by which, in a future case with different facts, an ISP could face secondary liability if a copyright holder could demonstrate knowledge of specific infringers, not merely specific IP addresses, a direct relationship between the provider and the infringer without intermediary attenuation, and conduct exceeding indifference, something approaching deliberate facilitation, then aiding and abetting liability might attach. The majority's framework forecloses this path, the concurrence keeps it open.
Yes, we grabbed our crispy chicken nuggets and put them in a Crunchwrap slider. And no, you don't need to thank us. That's what any above-average smart person would do.
guild reclaimed the lead. Kill confirmed.
TACOM, get me a UAV.
Damn it, lost the lead. We got the advantage. Now we have to keep it. Stay tight, we're in the lead.
TACOM, release skewer on mission.
Hostile UAV established above.
Authorizing UAV mission.
Let the record show he mad.
Enemies down.
Skewer ready to launch.
Marking Hellstorm cohorts.
Throwing Semtex.
Shot ready for deployment.
Bye-bye. Bagged and bagged.
Skewer released this task.
Enemy spotted. Hostile care package above. Lead's ours. Stay on task. Enemies took the lead. Make them regret it. Skewer incoming. Enemy UAV detected.
TACOM, get me a UAV. Mason approving dog deployment.
Take out their care package.
Mason authorizing skewer.
TACOM, get a UAV in the air.
Incoming napalm strike in your AO.
Authorizing UAV mission. Tack off. Get me a UAV.
Hostile care package above.
Authorizing UAV mission.
Hostiles released a skewer.
Using field upgrade.
Skewer incoming.
Shots good.
Release dog on my location.
We're down, but not out, Black Ops. Time to get cover.
Basic designating Hellstorm target.
You're done.
Hostile dreadnought inbound on your location.
Aguinaldo calling in UAV.
Heads up. Dreadnought in my sight.
Prep for exfil. We gotta cut our losses. Hardpoint. Take the objective. The field took the hardpoint. Contesting hardpoint. is active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Watch me pointing that shit-ass hat. Hands off the merchandise, buddy. Establishing smoke screen.
Hard point contested.
TACOM, release skewer on mission.
No other facility in the world
Hard point located. Enemy RCXD's on the hunt. Hard point active. The guild took the hard point.
Hostile sighted.
Contesting hard point.
RCXD on mission.
Hard point identified. Hard point contested. Contesting hard point. Hard point is active.
That's the kill. Eyes, shoot this motherfucker!
Hostiles have the hard point.
Semtex out. Eyes on enemy. Hostile incendiary. Shock charge identified. Hostiles using field upgrade.
Hard point located.
Body drop.
You're losing. Switch it up.
This one eye. What's your
Hard
fucking
point
excuse?
Got the hard point. The guild took the hard point. Hard point contested.
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
Contesting hard point.
Hostile confirmed.
Next call. Napalm strike inbound. Hard point identified. Hard point contested. Hard point locked down. Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point is active.
Sniper.
Hostile RCXD incoming.
Focus system neutralized.
Mission pilot RCXD.
Hostile UAV established above. You know the sitch. Scrub and burn.
This is Weaver. We need immediate extract. Mission's a train wreck.
Incoming cluster. deathmatch. You know what we're up against. Keep it tight or we're all screwed. Got the lead. You're falling behind, Black Ops.
Target removed.
We got the advantage. Now we have to keep it. Stay tight. We're in the lead. Enemy care package dropping.
You hand it out, you better be ready to take it.
Stack I need eyes over here. Stack up. Drop care package on my beacon.
Damn it, lost the lead.
Vermaak approving skewer target.
Hostile shooter. Watch out, grenade! Tick! That'll hurt their pride, among other things. Sighted on target.
Established 20 above. Taking a shot. Vermaak requesting care package deployed.
Deploying score
Skewer ready to launch. Skewer release this task.
Establish hop on station.
It's not camping, it's hunting.
Watchdog Helo unit standing by.
Weaver authorizing Watchdog Kilo operations.
This is Marauder. Targets in sight.
Hostile care package above.
Weaver authorizing support station. EKIA. Stay down.
Got the kill.
Deploying skewer on your target.
We control the field. Keep it that way.
Hostile foot patrol.
Lock shot ready for deployment.
TACOM, I need eyes overhead. TACOM, drop care package on my beacon.
Okay, fuck yes. AO secured. Resupply teams inbound.
Weaver TACOM. That's one for the good guys. Hostile grenade. Kill.
I have 32 goblins. I will tap Cranko for 32 more. 64. They all have haste because of my fire crystal.
Hard point. Secure the objective. Got the hard point. Lead's ours. Stay on task. The field took the hard point. You're falling behind, Black Ops.
Smoke out.
Enemy UAV detected. Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
TACOM, get a care package on my location.
Hostile UAV established above. Hardpoint located. Hostile counter UAV above. Hardpoint active. The field took the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Contesting hardpoint. Enemy UAV detected.
Using smoke.
Hardpoint contested. Contesting hardpoint.
TACOM, get me a UAV.
Hardpoint contested. Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint identified. Got the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Hostile UAV established above. Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint Hardpoint contested. Enemy UAV detected. Hardpoint locked down. Contesting hardpoint. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Wake up, Master. I'm on your threat down. Hostile UAV established above. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint located. Hardpoint is active. Got the hardpoint. Contesting hardpoint. The guild took the hardpoint. Hostile LDVR drop detected. Hunter killers inbound on your grid. Clean it up, Black Ops. This isn't over yet.
Your HKDs have been destroyed.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint active. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint contested. Hostile harp above you. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Requesting dog on my grid. Vermont requesting watchdog helo on my grid. Got one.
Enemy UAV detected.
TACOM established counter UAV overflight. Authorizing UAV. Vermont throwing lock shot.
Game fixed. Enemy LDVR inbound. Contesting hardpoint. Got the hardpoint. The guild took the hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint located. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Heads up. Enemy HKD drop detected. Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint locked down. Contesting hardpoint.
Incoming flashbang.
Enemy harp overhead. Hostile UAV established above. Enemy CUAV established overhead. Hardpoint contested.
Smoke out.
The guild took the hardpoint.
Watch me pointing that shit ass at.
Contesting hardpoint.
Your trophy system was eliminated.
Hostile LDVR drop detected. Hardpoint identified. Enemy UAV detected.